Okay.
Then you guys can accept. Welcome to the LinkedIn Turbochargers. I always look forward to these meetings every week, and I'm actually kind of glad that they're on Monday because it's a nice start to the week. And there aren't many other Zoom calls on Mondays, so it works out really well.
You know how many I could be on? Like 5 of them.
Really?
Yeah, they've gone ballistic, ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of other ones I could be on.
Yeah.
On Monday night, but not during the daytime, right? Earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go into LinkedIn and walk you through some of the back office things that we need to be aware of. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I thought I had my LinkedIn open. I'll open it up here. And were you able to get into your bump card site, Richard?
Well, I've gotten in and I'm still trying to understand how many ways we can get into it.
Right. Oh.
And then there's just a lot of questions about how you get it to appear on your phone.
That's right.
So I got the card
Mm-hmm.
and the ring.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh great. I can't wait for you to show me how they work.
Well, so it took a half hour, 45 minutes to get it to work.
Oh yeah.
But bumping it, I don't know if that was it or if is because I scanned the QR code.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about that later when we have our get together later on in the week. Oh, or do we have one this week? No, there is no turbochargers this next week. Unless you guys want to have one, we can have a get together and do turbochargers. Anyway, today is about LinkedIn. So I'm going to show you here. You see this little icon, this little me icon?
Yeah.
When you click on this little me icon, then there's a drop-down menu that shows up. And you can see settings and privacy down here. And this is something that a lot of LinkedIn coaches don't show their people. And I get really, I really feel sorry for some people because they don't have anything listed for their skills and so that they can be endorsed. And LinkedIn search engines, they're the second most powerful search engines on the internet. And they, like the most powerful ones are the Google ones. And so those search engines, they look all the time for keywords. And if we don't have keywords on our profiles, that and that's one thing, then they can't raise us up on our value on the internet, on like with LinkedIn. Even if you don't have any keywords, what happens is then the search engines gradually push you down to the bottom of the ratings. So for pretty soon, then nobody's going to see you or notice you if you don't have keywords and you're not using keywords regularly on your profile. So you need to have keywords set up on your profile. And those are the skills, your skills. So what you think, what is somebody going to type in the Google search bar if they don't know my name and they don't know my name of my company, but they know what they're looking for and it's what I have to offer, right? So they need to know, they need to see those skills. The search engines need to see those skills. And what LinkedIn says is they want to see us be able to get up to 99 plus endorsements on our skills and endorsements. And the reason for that is because of the search engines. You get to 99 plus, that's all LinkedIn will show, but there's lots of people that have way more than 99 endorsements on some of their skills on their profiles. But if you have no skills listed, then nobody can go and endorse you. And the more activity you have, endorsements happening, more activity you have happening on your LinkedIn profile, then you have a better chance of the search engines finding finding your profile and showing it to other people. And they show your profile to other people in different ways. And I'm going to show you how they do that, okay?
Can you go back one step to where you were?
Okay, I'm going to go back to LinkedIn. And you see all these little icons here.
Yeah,
You go to the me icon and you click,
right.
left click.
Mhm.
Then you have that drop down menu and you go to settings and privacy.
Then if you hold it for a second. Okay,
And you click on settings and privacy.
yep,
And then you go into your back. This is like your back office, I call it, for LinkedIn. And so you want to make sure that you've got everything set up, and there's several different areas to check out. So the profile information is all here, your name, your location, and your industry. And you can click on change. And you can go in and you can edit right here all the things that you want to change on your key things, on your education, or many main areas of your education, your current position, all this. Additional name, if you have an additional name, your education, your location, and your contact info can all be changed right here. And then you can click save. Always click save when you get out of it. So this is going to take me back. I have to go back and get back into it again, because what it did is it took me into my profile, right?
so
Because I
what
was
kind of
editing.
alternate names does it like?
Well, if you have an alternate name, like I call myself the marketing mentoress, right?
Mhm.
I could put that in there. So you could put your health name in there, right? For your business, you could put that
Because
in there.
it likes other links,
Mhm.
like to websites and landing
That's right.
pages and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
And so you can manage your LinkedIn experience here. So you start going through your language. You want to set up your language, and select the language for translation. So if you want to have people be able to have LinkedIn translate into another language, you can do that. But I just have mine set up for English only. And the thing is, most of the people that are on LinkedIn speak English. And so everybody that gets on here, they need to speak English or be able to translate it from their language into English. And it's just a professional thing to do, is to speak English on here. And to have your profile be able to be translated into English. And so there's some autoplay videos that you can set up here. Autoplay videos. So your autoplay videos will appear on LinkedIn. So these are the videos that I have set up in my that section where you can put special posts, and I'll show that to you. But I've got it turned on, so it will autoplay videos that appear on LinkedIn. And then I can close this because it's set to yes. And so you need to have yours set to yes as well. So I can close this, and then showing profile photos, choose to show or hide profile photos of other members. So I've got this open to everyone on LinkedIn. I figure they need to see me and I need to see them. there's different settings that you can turn off who sees you. And you can set it for no one sees you, your connections see you, or your network, or all LinkedIn members. So I've got it set to everyone on LinkedIn can see my picture. If you have a business and you say it's on Main Street, you have a business on Main Street, and you open up your store and you have a grand opening and you lock the front door, what's that going to do to your business?
You won't have a business.
Nobody will come.
That's right. And so when you don't let people see your photo, because it's part of that experience of building that know, like, and trust, and being able to see the pictures and to see videos that you've put up there, it helps people to relate to you. And they get to know how you smile and how you move and how you sit and how you hold yourself and how you talk. It's really important to share that to let people see that. So I'm going to close this one. Now, this is feed preferences, where you can customize your feed. So in your feed, this is your feed. These are all businesses that LinkedIn suggests that you might want to follow. But I do not follow anybody who hasn't got quite a few thousand followers already. So I'm really, and it has to be people I follow. They have to be an organization that is somehow related to what I'm doing for business. So if there's network marketers on there, coaches, network marketing coaches on there, I will follow them. So like Eric Worre, I will follow him on there. And he's got like 1 million followers. But all of these, like the mental health associations and things like that, they're really not something that people would relate to if you're in business, especially in network marketing business.
So, question.
Yes.
In the list of settings, it was called preferences.
Yes.
But when the page comes up, it's called manage my network. Does it say preferences anywhere?
Well,
in it?
this is just where you can manage your network here. This is the preferences here. And it says see all. I'm moving our pictures around because our pictures are in the way. So if I scroll down here, LinkedIn suggests all kinds of people that we can follow.
Right.
And so if you want to go through here and see some of the people, there might be some people here. This is an artist and woman leader. Now she's got it in a different language. See that? I tend to not go and connect with these people that have a different language on their profile because I'm English only, right?
Yep.
And for them, if they can't speak English, they're going to have a hard time making friends on LinkedIn and doing business on LinkedIn. So here's Canada Public Health. We've got, Bangladesh. Probably none of these are going to be people. Well, Heather, self-esteem and empowerment. She's a coach for professionals. She might be a good person to follow, but she's got 31,000 followers. That's great. Kelly Mitzel, she's an associate director of CBRE. I don't think I would follow her because that might be a little bit too controversial for some people. So I'm careful who I follow on LinkedIn. This woman is a professional artist. I don't think I would follow her because most of the people that I work with and I'm associated with aren't artists, right? But I might go with Amy Novak because I don't know how you say that.
Oh, Nasovec.
Nasovec. Okay. So I probably would follow her because she's got, but I can't see how many people she's got following her. She's got a whole bunch of hashtags there.
Hmm.
And so I would hold off following her until I know a little bit more. But there's the United Emirates, ADP, I probably wouldn't follow. I wouldn't follow BBC News, but I would maybe LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Maybe I'll follow them because they're LinkedIn. So you just want to be careful who you follow, because it reverberates through other people who are looking to follow you, right?
Mhm.
Mm. So when you follow, then what happens? Like, do they send you information?
Well, LinkedIn wants you to follow people. And
Mhm.
that's what Gloria tells us a lot. She tells us that LinkedIn wants you to follow people rather than ask to connect with them. However, when you follow people, you don't get as much notoriety. Is it a good word to use here? You don't get noticed as much with following as you do with connecting with somebody.
Mm.
And so that's why we try to connect with people. So I'm going to go to the next section now.
So when you connect, that means you have some kind of digital conversation or whatever.
That's right. You send them an invitation to connect. So I've got, when I started working with Gloria a year and a half ago, I was at just about 14,000 connections, maybe the high 13,000. And now I've got 15,874. And that's a combination. Well, this is my connections. This is all my connections here. And my contacts are right, this is right below. So I clicked on my connections. And once you're connected to people, then you can send them direct messages by just clicking on here and saying, so I send them this request to connect. I hope you'll accept this invitation to connect. I see that you're connected with, and I'll go and check people out that I'm connected with who are in my connections back here. I'll go check them out. And if they've got 500 plus on their connections, then I will click on that on their connections. So let's say, let's just do Amanda Thompson here. You right click if you want to check somebody's connections. Then you open link in new tab and you click on that, left click. And then you see it opening up here. There's a wheel turning around. So I'm going to click on that. And she's got 500 plus connections. So I'll go into her profile now and I'll left click on her 500 plus connections. And I'll see all these people that you can click to connect with, right? So this person I clicked on down here is Tara Renzi. But I don't want to send a connection request to her. So I'll just click the X. But it's Amanda Thompson that I have looked at her connections. So I get a piece of paper and I write the name of Amanda Thompson. I write it down on a piece of paper, usually on my 25 MNP paper. And then I'll look at him. He's a life coach, executive coach, a speaker, an author, marketing, inventing. You want to be careful who you connect with. You want to make sure that you connect with network marketing people. This guy's an internet marketing person and emotional intelligence practitioner.
So can I ask you a question? When there's that IN in the square there, what does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
She has a paid profile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So wealth and business coach. This might be an interesting person, but I don't want to just follow her. I want to ask for connections. So specializing in helping business use video as strategic sales and marketing tool. This guy is with GS Partners. That's a network marketing organization. So I could click on here and add a note, and I can say, so I tell them that I noticed that you're connected with Amanda Thompson, and he's also with GS Partners, which is a group that I'm with, which is for the Bitcoin, right? And so I'm going to ask him to connect with me. And then I just sign the bottom. I don't put the name of the person on there because it gets really confusing when I do the invite, but I do sign it, and then I'll just click send. And so this Pierre will get my invitation to connect and decide whether he wants to connect with me. So let's go back into this me section and go through this settings and privacy some more. So there's the languages and the content language and the autoplay videos and the showing profile photos to everyone, the feed preferences, to customize your feed. We're looking at that. And people also viewed. Choose if this feature appears on your profile. So let's click on here. People also viewed is turned on. So you want to make sure that that's turned on for you. And then you just make sure you click close after each one. And then people you unfollowed. So if somebody connects with me and then they start getting really obnoxious, talking about a topic that is totally irrelevant to what my profile is about, for instance, or some guys will get on there with the women and it doesn't matter who it is. And they'll say, oh, you look so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to connect. And so I will just unfollow those people unless they get so obnoxious, then I will block them. But I haven't blocked that many people. So you want to unfollow people first and give them a chance to redeem themselves before you actually block them. But sometimes there's people that totally don't get what you're supposed to be doing on LinkedIn. And here's some people that I've unfollowed. You know, if somebody doesn't want to get my messages, that's fine. I'll just unfollow. So then here's syncing options. You use this information to make networking easier. So we can sync a calendar. So we can sync our Google Calendar. So I've got my Marketing Mentors calendar synced with my LinkedIn profile. If you've got Outlook, you might have a personal or a work Outlook calendar, and you can click here to learn how and sync that with your calendar. I don't want to click on this because it'll mess this up.
How does it mess it up?
Well, because then it's going to start looking for my Outlook. I don't want my Outlook calendar to be connected.
Okay.
I just want my Google Calendar connected. So I'll just leave it like that. So when
So
you
when-
click on that, it'll walk you through step by step. So it's very easy actually to do.
So when you, the way you got your calendar set up, you refer everything into the Google Calendar that then goes back to your Sprouts?
Yeah, I've also got my Google Calendar for my personal email connected. So I've got both this one and this one.
Okay,
Okay, so let's go back into here. In my settings and privacy again. And then we've got subscriptions and payments. So I have a premium subscription, and that's why you saw that yellow IN beside that person's name. It's because they have a paid subscription, not prescription. And then you can view purchase history here if you want to. So I don't recommend anybody get on a paid platform ever. Well, maybe if you're in sales and you're selling big ticket items, you could use Sales Navigator. But that would be the only exception if you're into selling big ticket items.
What's the difference between Sales Navigator and then the other one, the premium?
Well, Sales Navigator has a bit of a CRM connected with all the people that you've reached out to, and puts them on different lists for you. So you can message them together on those lists and personalize the messages that you send out. That's one of the key things, one of the key reasons you want to be on Navigator. But I'm not on Navigator. I've gone in there and I've worked with Navigator, and I've taught people who are in big sales. One guy, he sold businesses. And so I got him going on Navigator, and another person sold big ticket items like Kenworth trucks and Peterbilt trucks that were trade-ins. So it was just those really big items that I helped people with. So then the next section is partners and services. So services, you've connected your LinkedIn account. So if you want to change it, you go into Microsoft and you view your Microsoft accounts if you're using Microsoft connected to your LinkedIn account. And the reason this is here is because this is fairly new, because Microsoft bought LinkedIn and paid $6.6 billion back in about 2013, somewhere in there. 2012, 2013. They paid huge money. So you can control which Microsoft accounts you grant access to your LinkedIn data. And you have not granted access. I haven't granted access to any of my Microsoft accounts as yet. I just haven't seen a real important need for that. And then you can change Twitter. I'm going to close this one. So you need to add a Twitter account to your LinkedIn account. So I've got my Marketing Mentress Twitter. I've got several Twitter accounts, but I've only got this one actively connected. And then you've got WeChat settings. You can connect a chat up to your LinkedIn profile. So I've got my WeChat account connected. So this helps you be able to have conversations with people on LinkedIn. So if you're connected to somebody else who has their WeChat set up, then you can have a conversation. It's like a little bit like WhatsApp. Are you either of you familiar with WhatsApp? Yeah. So you can have conversations with people right there on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I have WeChat on my cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah. So connect it up to LinkedIn. And then
So how often do you have a conversation with somebody on WeChat?
oh, I've had maybe about a handful of conversations because not everybody knows about it, right?
Yeah. Well, are they in the US or? Canada, or are
Most
they?
of the WeChats that I've had have been with people that are either in, I had a WeChat with a gal a couple months ago from Kenya. And Australia is another one. England is another one.
Mhm.
So I've just had a handful of conversations with people, but I want to give people the option to be able to reach out and to have a chat with me if they want.
Yeah,
It's part of building relationships with people. And so if you've got more than one account on LinkedIn, and I've got to tell you just a little bit of a background here. I have had so many people approach me at networking meetings because they've gotten themselves in trouble on their LinkedIn accounts. And when they went, because they haven't gone and gotten some proper guidance, they just went in and set it all up on the free the first time. They didn't write anything down, so they don't have their password, they don't have their email. And so then they log out of it, and then they go to try and get back in it again, and they click the sign up button instead of the sign in button. And they end up using the same email and the same password, because it happens to be a password that they use for everything. So everything they have online has got the same password. And so then they call me, Christine, I've got these two accounts. I need to merge my accounts. And so we get together and I find out that they've used the same email and the same password for both accounts. And then they end up having to pay somebody from LinkedIn who charges $75 an hour to straighten up one of their accounts, to get or to delete one of their accounts, or to help them amalgamate their accounts, because now their new account has a whole bunch of connections, but their first account that they got into has a few connections, but it has a real full profile. They've got all their experience and education on there. So we're only supposed to have one profile on LinkedIn. And if LinkedIn finds out that we have more than one profile, we can get into LinkedIn jail. And that means your profile has been frozen. So to get some help to straighten that mess out, there's only a limit to what I can do. I'm not a LinkedIn programmer. Okay, so merging accounts, hibernate an account. So if you want to deactivate your account temporarily, you can do that. So this is what it says. It looks like something needs to be resolved before we can hibernate your account. Once you've resolved the issue, please retry hibernating your account from your settings page. Looks like you're the owner of an active group. You'll need to go to your groups management page and either transfer ownership of the group to another member or close the group, then return to settings to hibernate your account. So you don't want to do that, hibernate your account, if you're going to be active on LinkedIn. It's only for people who, like, maybe somebody gets really sick, maybe they're fighting cancer and they're going to be sick for quite a while. So they maybe want to hibernate their account for a couple, 3-4 months or so. That's one of the few reasons I can think why somebody would want to hibernate their account. So I'm going to go back into the me here. And if you want to close your account, you can do that as well. But I'm not going to go in there to close. Well, I guess I can click on, I'm not going to close my account. So you read through this whole thing. So it's the same message like what I had on the last one, similar, because you have to pass on. See, LinkedIn will not delete your groups. Even if you ask them to delete your groups, they will just make them inactive. And they'll always remain there because they want access to anybody who's followed that group or had anything to do with that group. Are you okay, Richard?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now I'm going to go right. So we've gone down through all the top sections here. Sign in and security. So this is where you can change email addresses. And your email addresses, you can have, I've got 3 email addresses up here. So you can put several different email addresses on here. You make one the primary email, and LinkedIn really likes it if your email address is with Gmail. They prefer Gmail, or it has to be a private one. So if you've got an email address that you've been using that's a Yahoo or oh, what's that other one that people use a lot? Hotmail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very reliable emails. So I use my marketingmentress@gmail.com as my primary one. And I have these other 2 up here because in case somebody's trying to get hold of me, or in case something happens that I lose access to this Gmail. I've had that happen to me, actually. I was using an email address from Eastlink, and then I switched internet providers, and I'm no longer with Eastlink. And so then I had a dickens of a time getting a new email in here so that I could log into my LinkedIn. So I'm going to close this. Are there any questions so far?
No, it's helpful.
Yeah, it's good. And then you need to check your phone number. You can change your password here if you want to change your password. And this is where you're signed in. So if you look at this, you're currently signed in to 4 sessions. So, and where I'm located, it shows me where I am right now. See how it follows you? It says I'm in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you put your email addresses in, did you put them in by hand, or did they just go in when you downloaded information?
They just
Or
went,
uploaded it?
they just went in according to where I was active. So when I was down in Florida with my youngest daughter for 3 weeks in October, it followed me there. So when you're active on LinkedIn, inviting people to connect with you and everything, LinkedIn reads all this stuff. They know where you're doing it from.
Well,
And-
or the algorithm does, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So this is devices that remember your password. So there are no devices associated with this account. So I haven't put any connected any here. And then there's the 2-step verification. You need to make sure that this is on. So you need to go in here and make sure that your 2-step verification for LinkedIn is turned on. And then
Now, when you manage your 2-step verification,
Mhm.
because more and more entities are going to that, right?
Yes.
Do you vary what you do with that, or?
No, I don't. So what happens when you have it turned off? 2-step verification is turned on right now. I'm not going to turn it off. I'm going to leave it on. I've got my phone connected. So they send me a text message, and every time they send me a text message, it's a different code.
Right.
It's a different number. So I can leave this number here, but I can change my verification method to a different method.
Yeah.
So I can use the Authenticator app instead of my SMS.
So what's the Authenticator app?
The Authenticator app is if you've got a Cash FX account, for instance, and you've invested in Bitcoin or in the Forex, which is what Cash FX is. And I have several Forex accounts. So I have set up my Authenticator. Now I'm going to hold this up here for a minute, and it's down in the bottom here. There.
Uh-huh.
It's an app, and you download it for free in from whatever platform. So if you've got a platform like mine's an Apple. Okay, so I go to the Apple store, the App Store, and
Or it's Google Play Store if it's
yeah,
in.
that's what it is, Google Play Store. So you can go in there and download that Authenticator, and then you can just use the Authenticator. You can set it up with your LinkedIn account, and you can use the Authenticator to.
Then the Authenticator, you could link a whole bunch of accounts to it,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. You can.
And then it does when it called like your bank,
Yeah,
then it calls
yeah,
and gets the verification.
that's
And
right.
then you get a notice that you're signed in.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does the notice look like?
So if you're trying to log into your bank account or Cash FX or any of these online or LinkedIn, they'll say, please enter your SMS, because that's what I've got hooked up with mine, right? And your code is being sent through your approved phone number. And so then I just look at my phone and the message will automatically pop up. And then I get the number. It's usually 6 digits.
Yeah.
And the Authenticator numbers are all 6 digits as well. And then there is a window that they have put up on my screen where I type in the 6 digits, and then I hit enter, and
Yeah.
it automatically opens up and lets me into LinkedIn or
Yeah.
my bank account.
So you answered the question, because I was basically asking if the Authenticator actually populated something in there and sent it back to the bank or whatever it is.
You have to put it in yourself.
Yeah.
The Authenticator gives you the number, but you have to punch it in yourself.
Yeah. Otherwise, that text message or whatever it is comes directly to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
But that Authenticator is supposed to be more secure.
Yeah, I think the SMS is pretty secure as well, because it changes all the time too. So I haven't been too worried about it. But the fact that the Authenticator, you can set up the Authenticator with your LinkedIn account, I think it's a really good thing. Because I think the Authenticator is just a tad better security.
Mhm.
So this is all about the account access. Now this is visibility. And I'm not going to go into each of these here now, because it's just going to be boring for you. But you need to go through these yourselves, go into your back office and go into each one. And you got profile viewing options, story viewing options, edit your public profile, who can see or download your email address. And now this one I will open up, because I've got my first degree connections, because when I had that sent, and you click on this, see, you can have anyone on LinkedIn, right? I had it set to anyone on LinkedIn, and I was getting a lot of emails from people that weren't even in LinkedIn, because I'd go look them up in LinkedIn and I couldn't find their profile anywhere.
Mhm.
So I set it to my first degree connections so that they could see my email. So if they're not connected with me, they can't see my email. And that's probably a wise thing to do for everybody.
I think that's how I set mine.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
good.
then a lot of people can send you emails if you put first connections, right?
Yeah, but I don't get a lot from my
Mm,
first
yeah.
connections.
But that's only because they're on LinkedIn, right?
That's right.
as opposed to from anywhere else.
Mhm.
Mm.
So choose if your connections can see your connections list. Okay, so remember I went into that person and that we opened up their profile and where, remember I went into this Amanda Thompson's profile and we
Mhm.
clicked on her connections. Well, on mine, we'll go back over here. I've got this set so that,
One below.
yeah, this one here. Choose if your connections can see your connections list. I've got mine to no. So people can't go in and mine my connections. So I've got it turned off. See, when this button is gray, it means it's turned off. And who can see your last name? Well, my goodness, I let them see my last name. And then representing your organization and interests. Show your name and or profile information with other content shown on LinkedIn. Yes. And profile discovery and visibility off LinkedIn. Choose whether approved apps and partner services can find and display information from your profile. So I've got this set to yes, because I think it's a really good way to market yourself and get seen online. And this profile discovery using email address, choose who can discover your profile if they haven't connected with you, but have your email address. So I put it to 2nd degree here. And then there's the profile discovery using your phone number. Choose who can discover your profile if they haven't connected with you, but have your phone number. So I put everyone here. And I haven't been bothered with any crank kinds of. So I didn't want to put it to nobody. So if they've got my phone number, but they're not connected to me on LinkedIn, and I just put it to 2nd degree connections, I thought, I kind of want everyone on LinkedIn to be able to have access, to be able to get in touch with me. Blocking. And we've just had a talk about blocking, so I won't go into that. And then now here's visibility of your LinkedIn activity. You can manage your active status on LinkedIn. So choose who can see when you are on LinkedIn, who can see that you are currently active while you're using LinkedIn. And I've got my connections only. I don't want to have all LinkedIn members or no one, but yeah, my connections can see when I'm active on there. And then share profile updates with your network. Yeah, so when I update my profile, it goes out, LinkedIn shows it to everybody. So if I put a new program that I've just started, a new LinkedIn program, like when I put up my Turbochargers on there, then all my connections saw that, and and what LinkedIn does, it shows everybody that I've got a new job. Yeah. So, and then notify connections when you're in the news. Yeah, I want people to know when I'm in the news. So I manage 5 groups on LinkedIn. And as a manager of a group, I can recommend somebody's post to be shown to everybody in the group. Because normally when we post in the group, not everybody sees it. More people see it probably than in our main feed, but in the group, you've got to, you need, it really helps if somebody recommends you, one of the admins. So I will recommend somebody every week. You can recommend somebody once a week. Sometimes I'll recommend one of my own posts that I've put in the group. And I post something in the groups, in my groups that I manage, try to post something every day, not every day, every week. And sometimes, like I said, I'll recommend my post to be shown to more people. And so you can notify connections when you're in the news, mentions of your tags. So this is getting here to the choose whether other members can mention or tag you. Allow others to mention or tag you in content posted on LinkedIn. So that's like Facebook. You can tag somebody on LinkedIn when you do a post. And followers, choose who can follow you and see your public updates. So let's look at this. I've got it set to everyone. So you can set it to everyone on LinkedIn if you want. Now we'll go to the communications section. How you get your notifications on LinkedIn received via LinkedIn web and app. So let's look at this. Conversations, enterprise products, the help center. So you can get communications from all of these different areas. I'm going to go back to communications. And you can get how to get your notifications. You can get email and it'll be sent to your primary email. And you can get pop-ups on your device. So you can have this. So you're getting conversations, messages, posts, and comments, and hiring insights. There's all kinds of stuff here. Go through it and read through it all. And then you can really have your profile set up so that you're ready to reach out to people and people can contact you more easily. And who can reach you? Invitations to connect. I've got that. Everyone. Invitations from your network. Choose what invitations you'd like to receive from your network. I've got that turned off because I have so many people now connected to me. I get invited to so many events that I turned it off.
I can't
But I
imagine.
can turn it on. So you can, and then messages, you can allow select people to message you. But I've got my profile open so that people can message me. And research invites. So if people want me to help them do some research on a project they're working on, I've got that set to no, because I don't have time to help people with all their projects. And then here's messaging experience. Choose how would you like LinkedIn to customize your experience. So you can have read receipts and typing indicators. So you can turn on read receipts and typing indicators. I've got it turned off right now. Here's when messaging a connection who has it enabled, both of you will be able to see when each other is typing and when the message is read. And because I'm not on there 24/7, I turned it off because it just doesn't make sense to have people, if they're typing me messages, then I'm not responding to them right away, because I'll go first thing in the morning or last thing in the evening. That's when I'm most active on my LinkedIn. That's just me. Some other people are in different times of day. So that's why I've got this closed off. And messaging suggestions. Choose if you want suggestions when messaging. And I've got that turned on. Allow LinkedIn to show you messaging suggestions, some of which are personalized using automated systems to recognize patterns in messages. And here's message nudges. If you want to receive reminders about messages you haven't responded to, this is really good. I've got this turned on, so I get reminders. And then data privacy. Manage your data and activity. So review the data that you've provided and make changes if you like. Or you can get a copy of your data and see your options for accessing a copy of your account data. And here's salary data on LinkedIn. See and delete your salary data. So if you don't want people to know how much you're making, you don't want to have that. You want to get that turned off. and search history. Clear all previous searches performed on LinkedIn. So you can clear your searches on here, just like you can clear your cookies on your search engines on your computer. And then there's personal demographic information. Choose what details you provide about your personal demographics. Now, one of the things I tell people to be careful of is when you're putting your personal information on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of these social media, most of them are allowing us to just put in the month and the day, but they're not allowing the year. We don't have to put in the year anymore. And the reason for that is because if you want to get your identity stolen, you put your birthday and your name on your profile. Because that's all people need. They don't want your pictures. They put their own picture up there. So all an identity theft person or a person who's going to steal your identity, all they need is your birth date and your name. And they can steal you blind. So I never put my year of my birthday on there. And so here, and then there's social, economic, and workplace research. I like to be on top of what's happening with that. So I put that to yes. Job seeking preferences, I've got them all turned off. I really don't want another job.
Yeah.
And then there's other applications. Control how associated accounts can use your data. So I've got one connected app here. And I've got Microsoft Word. I've got that set to yes. And then there's advertising data. And you can go through all of this advertising data and get all kinds of demographics, companies you follow, groups, education, job information. I've got this turned off. Your employer, that's turned off. So take some time in this next week to go through your back office. We're at 8:06, oh my time, 7:06 your time, Richard, and 5:06 your time, Jeannie.
So
Does anyone have any questions? Quick.
Just a very quick one. So are like Gloria had a bunch of those things too that you can go into, like her LinkedIn, like she's gone through certain things. Like, did you follow mostly hers, or you did extra stuff for yourself?
I didn't follow. I saw what she did, right? And I already had it fixed on mine. But I over the years, this has changed a lot, this privacy and settings in the back office. And so I go in there periodically and just see what else has changed in there. And sometimes I see a setting that I've got turned on and I think, oh, I don't want that on anymore. And I'll turn a setting off. So it's something that we all need to be aware of.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to be aware of that.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit it again. So it's been a while.
So Christine.
Yes.
So does Canada have social security numbers?
Yes, we do.
And are they same digits like we have?
They're 9 digits in ours.
So there's a lot of places that ultimately want your social security number.
Right.
And a lot of in the medical industry, they seem to, if they didn't have it, they couldn't keep track of you, but sometimes you had to argue with them. Well, almost every time argue with them, but only give the last few digits.
Yeah.
Have you found
I would never put my social insurance number on my LinkedIn profile or any of my social media or any of that.
Well, like Facebook or anybody that's doing billing, that bills you for use of their
Mhm.
service or app. Most of them want your social security number, right?
Yeah. And that's
That-
another reason why you want to be on the free. Don't want to be on a paid platform.
But that's mainly for income taxes as well too, right?
That's right. And so, so income tax, it's not just income tax, because my bank asked for my social insurance number. So the banks will quite often ask for that.
Well, they probably won't. You can't complete the registration form without it.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. To set up a bank account.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
haven't found a workaround that, right?
Yeah, I know I haven't found a work around that yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is- Any other questions?
no, that's been really helpful.
Awesome. So I'm
I'll
going
have
to turn
to
off,
go through.
So
stop share and stop recording.